Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of the AVS show. You're watching MinaTV. My name is Charlie Dior.
Yavi.
Ivoma.
And I'm the Manny Man.
And we just want to welcome you to a special episode. We are having our holiday special episode, and we are so happy that you are here to join us.
Yes.
As the year is coming to an end, so is somebody's power
coming to an end.
A lot of
Please
things
help
gotta
me
go.
introduce this topic. Robert Mugabe is expected to step down after being in power for 37 years. Yeah,
Finally.
you heard. Yeah,
Finally.
you heard that.
Finally, oh,
Yes,
it's about
to go down.
So I don't know if this is, because two things are going to happen after you finish watching this episode. It's either he's going to step down or dead. So I don't know, and I'm going to explain why I said that. Don't kill me yet. I'm going to explain why I'm saying that as the time goes on. So what do you guys think when you guys heard this news? Because it's going, everybody's talking about it.
Oh, I was elated at first, and then I was like, well, okay, let me think twice about this, because this might turn into like a coup, into like a war. This could go violent. So I was like, okay, this is a great idea, but we need to make sure that the people of Zimbabwe are safe. And so far, this has been going on for a few days now. So far, thank God, the people of Zimbabwe are no violence, no one's dead, no burning, like nothing. I mean, they do say that Zimbabweans are like the most literate Africans, so maybe that has something to do with that, and I just like that at least they're being calm about everything.
Well, it is a coup, though. It is just a bloodless coup. And that's what I think is actually interesting. It seems like what's happening now is people understand that war destabilizes. The continent has seen enough war, and they see that, look, it destabilizes regions and stabilizes the countries around it. So we want to make sure this guy gets out of power because, he was dismissing the vice president in order to place his wife there. He was doing all of these things. People are like, this is going too much. So, I mean, as of now, I think it's a great thing, but we'll see as the days go on, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, is this going to turn, like, what is the military really going to be doing there? I mean, who's going to be the next president? Is a military general going to be president? Like, what's happening?
I think to give our viewers a little bit of the background, that Mugabe, the military leader and the vice president, I believe 37 years ago, kind of like, got rid of like the Caucasians that were in the country. The farmers, they were farmers. They gave the country the structure. So that's why Mugabe became president, and then the other friend became vice president, and then the other friend became like the head of the military. Yeah. So the three of them basically were kind of like running the country together. It seemed like it was like a three-man thing. So when Mugabe got rid of the vice president, I think, they were like, hey, like what's going on here? It kind of seems like Mugabe was like acting alone and not consulting with the rest of them. So I think that's what made them say, hey, like we have to do something about this. And I think that's another reason why it's not being violent, because it's like an in-house coup. It's between the three friends. And Mugabe is I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but he's sick.
Yeah, look
he's
at this
sick.
photo.
He's not looking too well. And
How can you tell?
The eye.
No, that's old age.
I don't even think that he's
I think he has
100%
No, not now.
okay to like be running the country. And I think that his wife must have played a big part of the vice president being dismissed and stuff like that. So that's why I don't think there's going to be any violence in this, because the vice president and the head of the military, they got this.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
okay, so let me explain my previous statement that I made, because I've been reading a lot of articles about this, and honestly, I don't even know what is fact and what is fiction, because everybody has.
Yeah, because there's so many stories going around in every article.
So in other articles that I read, that he agreed to step down. So if he's agreeing to step down, then it's going to be peaceful, because it's going to be an agreement. He also was put on house arrest.
Yeah.
He's refusing to take bath. He's not eating. He's going on hunger strike. So if you are going on hunger strike at this age, you are going to die.
Definitely.
Yeah, and
so that's why I said what I said.
Yeah,
so.
and I think he's ready. He's 94. I mean, I think he's ready to give it up. I think that the wife really had a lot of say and a lot of power in what has been going on there in the past few years, because I mean, he's not. I mean, he's a doctor. I mean, he's not a doctor, but he went to medical school, right? So, like, at this age, I mean, what is your opinion? Like, is he in the right state of mind at 94 to be a president, to run a country?
Mentally, yes.
In your opinion?
Health-wise, no.
Yes.
Because first of all, his genes are aging, homeostasis, everything is not happening in the right time anymore. It looks like he has cataracts from his eyes.
Oh, for sure.
He doesn't
What
see
is
clear.
cataracts?
It's when you have some,
Build up.
build up in your eyes that
You know that
affects
blue film that
your
you see older
vision,
people
and
have?
then
It's
it becomes
cataracts.
blur. Your vision
Okay.
becomes. That's why he uses glasses all the time. So mentally, maybe yes. Health-wise, definitely no.
Not.
Well, I don't know about mentally because of the decisions that he's been making in the past several
Well,
months.
he's been like that even while he was young. He's been an autocratic president right from time.
Yeah,
Did he
no,
change?
He
didn't
has, but I'm
change.
saying the decisions that he's been making have been so erratic. He's been getting rid of
Yeah,
a
but
lot
that
of
doesn't
people
have
in his
anything to
ruling
do with
part.
your mental state. Some
Yes,
people are
it
just
does.
naturally. Adolf Hitler was not. He didn't have any mental problems. Some people are just born like that.
Yeah.
You understand? They're dictators. It's their natural mentality of life.
Yeah.
So we're not going to judge
Based
that.
on what I've been reading, I don't know about all of that. What I think is going on is that this man is sad. He's depressed. You guys know that he's been spending all this time looking at old pictures of his ex-wife's pictures.
And he claims
Well,
that's the reason why he
So
decided to.
for me, my question is, where is the gangster? Where is Grace in this whole
Yes, let's
situation?
talk about this.
he misses his ex.
Well, but
Grace.
what about your
No,
wife?
where's
Well,
wife?
I think that Grace had a lot to do with the erratic decisions he had been making lately. She seemed like a woman who wanted to be in power, and I think she made those decisions hoping or thinking that way she'd be able to maybe be the president or be the vice president. You
So
know,
is that gonna happen?
Or
No.
or
Not
maybe she
now.
wanted to like take some money, but it's like three best friends that have been working together over 37 years. So there's no way that she can have a piece of that. You know what I mean? Like that's not going to happen at all.
But where is his wife? I just want to know, where is Grace? Because they say she's left the country, but she has not been seen. I can't even find what flight she left on.
Did
So-
she
That's
walk?
the way-
Like, what, did she walk to?
Well, this guy is 94 years old. He can't. And that's probably why he's starving himself, because he knows this is going to end two ways. Either he just resigns peacefully or they kill him. So, and she's not going to hang around for that. Of course she's going to leave because she knows that
But
she
no
can
one
end up
has
in jail.
seen her. But I'm
Of
saying,
course she's gangster. She has disappeared. I would
Yeah.
too. After doing all, I would too, because
Do you
she
think
knows
she's-
where this is going to end.
do you think she's disappeared or she's been murdered? Because that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh my
like,
God, not murdered.
Why do you think that's
I don't think
surprising?
she's been murdered, because if there was any murder in this whole story, some way, somehow, we would have had. Because first of all, the military that took over, that put him on house arrest, like you said, they were friends. He has always been the military, the head of the military. So I don't think it has anything to do with murder right now. I just know that Grace Mugabe is Wonder
bad gal.
Woman of Zimbabwe. She's really the Wonder Woman of Zimbabwe. That woman can disappear anytime. Whenever there's trouble. Remember what she did in South Africa, and they couldn't even find her. They didn't have a solid statement like, where is
That's
she?
That's what
That woman
private
could disappear.
jets are for. And being the wife of the president of Zimbabwe, I mean, it was the heartbeat. She can get a private jet and get out of there.
okay,
In
well,
a
hopefully she's
heartbeat.
still alive.
And this Oga was also suspended from being the president of his political party. I don't know why they even call it political party. Yeah.
'Cause no one else wins an
exactly.
election.
And the vice president now that he fired is the new president, is going to be the new president of the party.
Yeah.
Then his wife has also been dropped from being the the head of the women's whatever in the party. So definitely power is slipping off their hands.
But let's also talk about China's involvement too. I found this really interesting article. It was saying that the general of the Zimbabwe army, he went to China several days, like a couple of days, like 2 to 3 days before he returned back to the country to dismiss the president. So this is what happened. So like you said, there were three best friends who were running the country. So Constantine is the general.
Yeah.
And when the vice president was dismissed, Constantine went to China, met with the generals there. They have picture evidence. And this is 2 to 3 days before the coup. So he went to China. They said they don't know what transpired in that meeting. They don't know what's happened in that meeting. However, when he did return, the military coup happened. And the military coup, not only, like you said, the vice president is now established as the president, but he came back, the general came back and said, you need to stop dismissing people of your ruling party. And then that's when he brought the military to the city. That's when he put Mugabe on house arrest. So people are saying that China was involved in this coup.
Well,
Wow.
I don't know how China benefits from it.
Oh, China benefits from Zimbabwe because it's the Zimbabwe's main trading partner. So like millions of dollars flow in between the countries.
China is protecting its assets, you know?
I think so.
But I'm just glad that a foreign country stepped in, because let's also remember that prior to this, Mugabe arrested a NPR journalist, an American NPR, National Public Radio journalist, for her tweeting about what was actually going on in Zimbabwe. You know what I mean?
That was only a couple of months ago.
I think he just, wasn't that recent? Less than a couple of months ago.
Right.
That
it was very recent.
Yeah, very, very recent. So I'm glad. Like I was waiting for the UN to step in.
I
was waiting for America to step in.
But
I was
waiting. Just like in the United States, we have things that are done here that a foreign country cannot step in. So that's why I don't think it's good for foreign countries to step in Africa as well, right?
But
how this situation?
Okay, but
Europeans have been in Africa for
hold on
700
a second.
years.
But they stepped in Libya. They had no business. Foreign countries had.
When there's
I mean, but hold on a second. Gaddafi was running a great country. Like, there weren't any issues there. Gaddafi was educating all his people for free. He was giving his people money to be better. He was giving people loans. If you went to school, you graduated, you were doing well, he would give you money to come to America, go to China. I mean...
So then why do you think they stepped in? To control, right? To make sure that doesn't happen.
To make sure what doesn't happen.
Because I feel like a lot of foreigners get involved in Africa, and Europeans have been involved in 700 years, yet in the past 30 to 40 years, with China's involvement, we finally get infrastructure, we finally get things, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
so I don't think it's proper for any foreign government to ever be involved in another foreign government. What I'm saying.
I agree with you 100%, but isn't it ironic that foreign countries step in when there's oil, when there's natural resources, when there is a way for them to financially make money, they step in. But when there's not a way for them to financially make money, but when something is wrong, they're not stepping in.
Exactly.
What Mugabe was doing was completely wrong, but no one was stepping in
but
because...
you know, that's what I'm saying is that, you just said it. They only step in when there's something to benefit them. So then that's not good, right? So that means that there's something happening here. We don't know all of the facts. I want to see how China is benefiting from removing Mugabe, because they've been working with him since 1989. Mugabe defended the Chinese emperor, I don't know, in Beijing. He did something over there. Since 1989, he's been working with Mugabe. So now, did Mugabe say, you know what, I'm going to put Zimbabwean people first? And then they're like, oh, okay, we're going to remove you. Not because of his bad decisions. That's what I'm saying.
Because he has been making bad decisions for a long time.
All right, so I want to bring it back. So when I saw the headlines, there were a lot of other countries that were really excited about him stepping down. But my question is, why should I'm not from Zimbabwe, so whether or not President is stepping down, I don't know how that affects me from coming from Ghana. Do you think it affects other countries as well, whether or not?
I think it does, because then other countries will see, like
neighboring countries, mostly South Africa, Zambia, those small countries in the neighborhood, because they all have trading partnership with Zimbabwe, and they all have agreements. South Africa especially, I don't know what, they are benefiting a lot from Zimbabwe. So the South African government, to some extent, are in support of Zimbabwe. So we don't really know why.
No, they're in support of Mugabe.
Mugabe, I'm sorry, not Zimbabwe. They're in support of Mugabe. And the people of Zimbabwe don't want that to continue.
You see?
Because in South Africa,
see right there. So I need all the names. Wait, hold on. I need a list of every president.
Will you kill them?
No, not kill them, because then I will know exactly who those people are as well. Because who you associate yourself with says a lot about you. I don't need my president associate themselves with Mugabe.
But that's what they're saying, because the South Africa...
Jacob Zuma, the president of South Africa, he has a lot of things to do with
He gave Mugabe asylum, so he can come to South Africa and be fine. And so that's what people are like, why? What kind of agreements do you guys have together? That he could just come over here after being pushed out from his country to here and then relaxing and having a good life. So you're right. I don't know. I think as Africans, we need to get rid of... Africa right now is having the youngest population ever in the whole of the world.
Yes. Do you know that is so true? 2/3 of Africans are less than 25 years old.
That's great. So that's why we need to get rid of all of these old men who before internet. They didn't have the internet. What they think? They think the internet is a distraction. They think the internet is the enemy. They're blocking the internet, doing all this stuff. We need to get all of these old heads out. So I think we should care if Zimbabwe, the dictator is out. And maybe it's a warning to all the other dictators as well, all the people who've been in power for 40 years, 30 years. We need to get them all out. And as Africans, because yes, you may be Ghanaian, but at the end of the day, aren't we all African? We should care about the other country. And I feel like that's the one thing I would say about Africans. They don't really know much about other countries, but it's like, we're right, the border is right there. It's only a 30-minute flight. Like, you should know the other country because maybe there's business opportunities for you. Maybe you can grow there. Maybe you can do other things there. So I feel like as soon as the borders are dropping, like it's easier to travel in African countries, easier to do things, we should care because it affects all of us. Because that's the one thing about war in Africa. It destabilizes all these other countries around them. So you should care.
All right, so now Mugabe is stepping down, right?
Hopefully.
Or expected to step down. Do you guys have any opinion of what he needs to do next? Like go back farming or, you know, like what he's going to be bored. He needs something to do.
He should keep looking at his ex-wife's
Wife's photo
until he dies. That's all.
You know,
He's missing her.
Or just sit at home and watch the ABS show.
I find that
He can do that.
I beg you. Well,
I even find that very strange that he's looking at his ex-wife's photos. I think that means that maybe he's ready to go because he knows where she is. You know?
Wait, so you did mention off camera that he has something to do with his ex.
Grace Mugabe.
How sure are you?
Charlie, don't get me in any type of trouble. What I'm saying is that it's just really ironic that, you know, people say, because his ex-wife Sally is from Ghana, and she's actually from where I was born in Ghana. She's from Sekondi, and you know how it is. Takoradi Sekondi, but she's from Sekondi. And I was born in Sekondi. My family's probably one of the oldest families from Sekondi.
Yeah. So
and
she's from your family then?
No, she's not from my family. But you know, in Africa, we're small-knit communities. So everyone knew her as like Auntie Sally, Auntie Sally, Auntie Sally. But she's not related to me whatsoever. We're just from the same small town. So with all of this going on, I was talking to some older people that I knew, and they were like, you know, back then when Auntie Sally died, it was rumored that her death was strange. Her death was strange because her family never got to see her body. Her death was strange because all of a sudden when the new wife, what's her name? Grace Mugabe started coming around, she started getting ill. You know, so, you know, people say maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's just small talk.
So the theory behind is that possibly she didn't die a natural death.
Yes, and apparently she was like a lover of jewelry, and she loved jewelry so much. She never had any kids, but she loved her nieces and nephews, and she picked up all her nieces and nephews from Ghana and brought them with her to Zimbabwe and took care of all of them. And when she died, she didn't leave anything for them. The family came for her jewelry, and they said that, you know, they didn't give them the jewelry, they didn't let them see the body. And when at her funeral, Mugabe was holding the jewelry, and when they were burying her, he dumped all the jewelry into the graveside and put the dirt over it. So their theory also was that clearly he's gonna go back after everyone leaves and dig it back up and take the jewelry. Because, I mean, just imagine back then, real African gold jewelry and how much...
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Millions of dollars, maybe. So why would you bury that?
I was also reading somewhere that he actually enjoys when people compare him to Hitler. Can you like...
Whoa, are you serious?
Yes, I read some article about that as well. But it got me thinking, one man, 37 years in power, it cannot be all bad. So you guys have at least something good that he did.
They say he chased, the only good thing he did was chasing the colonial people.
Yeah, but he said, so yes, you see, he chased the colonial people away, but according to Wikipedia, there's still a 95% employment rate in Zimbabwe. That is very, very and 95%.
Do you have an idea of the population strength of the country?
That means that only 5 people are employed.
5%.
This is according to Wikipedia. 5%. Sorry.
Only 5 people. Jeez, I'm hiring.
They should come and work for
Zimbabweans were hiring.
$1 a day.
And there's like widespread poverty all over the place.
I still didn't hear the good thing.
Okay, well, the good thing is, so the one, I think the good thing that he did was a lot of the Zimbabwean farmers were white, and that was how you, back in the day. And so what he did was he redistributed rights back to the Africans because he's like, how'd you guys get this land? So essentially he just removed them. Yeah. And he gave the rights back to Zimbabweans. But the bad thing was about that was a lot of the time, a lot of Zimbabweans were like professionals in the city, so they didn't know how to manage the land, and he didn't really establish like training for them, etc. Whereas the farmers were like generational farmers, like they've been farming forever, you know, so they knew more. However, Zimbabwe right now has, you know, the agriculture sector is getting better, but the fact that he thought that was so important, as soon as he got into power, he just like all of the whites, he essentially is like he just removed their land and gave it back to blacks. I think that's amazing. Other than that,
I mean, they are exporting $3.2 billion and they're importing $5.1 billion.
Okay, great trade.
So that's, they're trading. As you said,
I think the problem though,
is that great in modern days?
They're doing more import than export.
They export
all African countries
to China, Congo, Botswana, and South Africa.
I think the issue though was not. Maybe we can't remember any great things he's done, but I think the issue was that he didn't redistribute wealth. So the thing is, like, if you look up pictures of his son had a Rolex and was pouring alcohol on it, like in a club.
That's what everybody does.
But do you know what?
Not everybody.
But do you know what's strange as well? Is they say that son was born while Sally was still alive.
So who's the mother of that?
Who's the mom?
By Grace. I don't know how true it is. And
but that was the case now. Grace was his secretary, and Grace
so that
was
means
his.
That he was sleeping
what do you
with
guys
Grace?
call it again? Grace was his
secretary.
Personal assistant.
Personal
mistress.
His mistress.
I was like personal
That's the word.
Concubine.
He was his
but
mistress. His wife was still alive.
That son is rumored to be the guy that bought Portia from the Housewives of Atlanta.
I believe.
A Rolls Royce.
A
Rolls Royce, which is like a $500,000 car. Yeah. He's rumored to like have these lavish parties in LA, New York, Atlanta.
They have pictures
everywhere.
I'm not there, so I'm just gonna say it's rumored, it's alleged, you know. I mean, fancy clothes,
American standards.
Yes,
like
I mean, pouring champagne on
getting that Zimbabwe.
So she probably still is. I mean, but she's a beautiful girl. You know, she has like this big mansion and all. He probably bought all of it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what's the terrible thing. Because people, what you said, 95% unemployment.
That's
his son
very high.
Is spending money for women here, spending American dollars, and then Grace was flying around with a private jet. She had millions of dollars of stuff on all the time. It was just like, there was clearly a disconnect from their reality, from the majority. If he pouring champagne on a Rolex, how much money is that? And how much money is that in Zimbabwean dollars? Actually, and do you know Zimbabwean inflation for their dollars was so bad, they've removed it and start using U.S. dollars.
But all of this is so strange, being that they do have one of the highest literacy rates in all of Africa. Again, it's verified on Wikipedia. Over 90%. So it's like if over 90% of the population is so educated, why are they poor? Like, you know, where are the jobs?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a government. Sometimes the government has to support the citizens. You can't just read to be in poverty.
You can't just have brains with no resources.
That's what I'm saying. You can go to all these schools and study, but nobody's hiring. There's no jobs. There's no resources.
And there's no hope for you to help you move to another country and help you.
Exactly.
You don't got any money because you're the president's son. It's pouring champagne on his Rolex.
But that's what I'm saying.
I will never
leave the boy alone.
So why is he educating his people and then not putting jobs in their hands? Like, this is...
Because he's a greedy mofo.
That's why he has to go, because unfortunately we tried so hard to find one good thing and everything had but. So it's unfortunate.
So these are all speculations. Do you guys think he's really gone, or...
I don't see. I heard that he was gone. He was under house arrest, and he was gone. And Grace Mugabe had like vanished into the air like the ghost. And I was like, yeah. But then 2 days later, he spoke at a graduation ceremony as the president of the country. Yeah. So I really don't know if this is all like speculation. I really don't know 100% what's going on. So I think we're just gonna have to wait. I think we're gonna have to wait about maybe like 90 days and see who their new president is and see what's really going on.
So I think he's definitely gone. I think they brought him out like a show pony. You know, sometimes you just want to assure people that there's no worries. He's not dead. He's not dead. Let's take him out.
They said
pranced him around, got him back in the armored car, back in the house. Like,
you might be right, because apparently he showed up with like a whole army. At the graduation ceremony.
And make sure that old man doesn't escape.
And I also heard that in the course of him browsing through his ex and everything, I heard he broke into tears. That's what they said. And I also heard that he was given an ultimatum to resign willingly.
Yeah.
So that's the status now. So we don't really know. Like you said, 90 days.
90 days. You're
90
right.
days, we'll see. Some of the most searched stuff about Mugabe is, if you type in Mugabe, things will come up. Is he dead?
Is he dead? Has he
Mugabe
resigned?
still
Only
alive?
bad things.
Well, so I don't know. It's all, so we hope, I hope that he will be gone. And gone, I don't mean dead, but just gone.
I hope that we go into 2018 with a new Zimbabwean president, but also somebody who's really for the people. You know, like what we always say here, T started it, you chop, I chop, a president that is going to make sure his family is okay, but is also going to make sure that his people are okay.
I'm also hoping for a dominoes effect, since he's going to be going. The African presidents, let's keep the ball rolling.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
So our viewers, let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank
Karen
you guys.
next.
Yeah.
Okay.
They should also let us know, like, what they're getting rid of for 2017. Like, what are you getting rid of, and what are they hoping to start the new year with?
Definitely. And from us, we want to wish you guys happy holidays. Keep watching MinaTV. This is the AVS show.
Happy holidays.
Thanks for watching. And if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.